Well, it's just feel weird today.
I know it's weird today.
Isn't it?
Because I don't know the situation. I don't know the down low. I don't know the facts and it's like a little bit unknown. It's the unknown to me, so I can't confidently speak about this because this is completely your baby, isn't it?
Baby, this is my baby.
This is what you've been working on for over a year.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm gonna. This is educational for me.
Educational for you. So
yeah.
I suppose we better get stuck in, haven't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I guess when we put this out, it's going to be very close to the time that this is a reality.
Yeah.
That we have a launch finally on Saturday.
Yeah.
Is it the 18th of March? I don't even know what the date is today.
Yes, because Mother's Day is Sunday, the 19th.
So on Saturday, the 18th of March, we've got a big launch.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time in the making, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. A long time in the making because it's so important to you and so important to the brand, really, that our brand and the book brand is so important that you did not want to rush this thing, and you wanted to make sure attention to detail was carried out throughout. And that really has been the case.
As much as it's driven you bananas, isn't it? Because you like to get things done from start to finish straight away. And I'm a procrastinator, distractifier.
Yeah, that's right. Because quite often I'd be pouring, and it would come into my head. I wonder where we are with this project.
Yes.
And I would say, Claire, where are we with this project? And you'd say,
It takes a while. It takes a while, doesn't it? Yeah. And particularly when I want something to be right, it takes me a long time. So I guess it's pretty obvious. We've been putting it out on social media, but we're really, really proud that we have got a license to be, an official merchant, if you like, for Sarah J. Maas and her 3-book series, starting with A Court of Thorns and Roses, which my phone, incidentally, every time I go to type Thorns and Roses, says Throns,
right,
which is really frustrating.
Yeah.
So, and it's been over a year in the making, and I think it was last January, I approached the publishers, because you have to go in through the publishers, to find out what it would entail to be able to make a collection for the books, all 3 series, the multiverse, if you like, because it's a multiverse. Because I absolutely love this series. Absolutely love this series. I mean, I love books anyway, and we are called Sense and Sensibility.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. So we've wanted to do something like this for a very long time, haven't we?
Yes. And sorry to just cut in there.
Please do.
Yeah. Whenever we've made wax before, there has a theme to it. Let's just say it has a theme.
Yeah.
We've always tried to imagine what that theme would smell like, or that person would smell like, or that environment would smell like. And then when we create the blends, we have that in mind. So has that been the case? So when you're reading these books, are you thinking this particular character, I think is going to smell like this? And then how does it work?
Well, so books are great because they're not a movie or a TV show. You're relying on the description to paint the picture. So a really good author will not only tell you what something looks like, but it will cover all of the senses. So it'll be telling you about what you can hear, what you can taste, what you can smell. And we've talked in a previous podcast about the significance of scent on memory and emotion. So when a writer includes descriptions of scent in their writing, it really helps to create a clear picture of what somebody, a character, a place, whatever, would feel like. And I think because so many of us rely on smell, and because it is such a powerful sense, we can all relate to how something smells. So if somebody says, for example, they smell like spring flowers, most of us have an understanding of what spring flower smells like, and it's able to more, I don't know what the word is, but more enter us more deeply into the story, help us to connect with the story, and help us to connect with the characters more, you know, in a greater way.
Sure.
Yeah. So I am quite particular. I mean, and should we talk about the series a bit? Because you really don't have a clue, do you? If we're honest.
No.
You don't have a clue about the stories. You know, it's just, oh, she's gone to bed now. Off she goes with her books. Night night.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's true. And quite often I'd sort of go to sleep first and then maybe wake up to go and use the toilet or something. And you're still there reading with this little light coming from this
Kindle
device, you know? And you're just still there reading away. And I would say to you, oh my God, I can't believe you're still awake. And you were just like deep in the middle of something really exciting, and there's no disturbing you.
No, and it is. And like if you're a book reader, if you are particularly this genre or any genre, but if you find a genre that you love, one chapter's never enough.
Yeah.
Because a good chapter will always end with you going, I've just got to see what happens in the next one. And these books, particularly the Court of Thorn and Roses series, the Crescent City series, and the Throne of Glass series, which is epic, all do that. And all do that. And everyone that I know has read them have been like, oh my goodness. And they might come into these books after a period of not reading. And it's a great way of gripping you in and the details. And what I love about this particular genre, it's a high fantasy genre. So we're looking at,
it's right up your street.
It's right up my street.
when you think of some of the programs you like watching, like Game of Thrones, Supernatural, The Witcher, all these things you watch, you love it, don't you? And to have that in book form, you know, I'm not surprised. Well,
it helps me to go to sleep. Ironically, even though I'm awake to the early hours of the morning, is if you've got a busy brain, it might not look busy on the outside, but the brain is whirring. Having something for me that is completely different to a world that I live in, is amazing for helping me to focus on that and let go of all the other ins and outs of the day, what's coming up in the next few days, what's happened. And, you know, sometimes you get those thoughts that go over and over in your head and they stop you from sleeping and you're wired. The books will just take me away from all that. I guess like sitting on the sofa and watching your favourite programme or a movie, which I can't do very well.
Yeah, I've got a theory about this because I'm quite often like either living in the past in my head or living in the future. I'm always thinking about what's happening next week or what's happening in 2 months' time, or thinking about what's happened before. And I'm not making any use of now, like right now, you know what I mean? Because I'm spending all my time either there in the future or about. So I suppose when it comes to reading it, I suppose it does put you in the present moments to a certain degree, doesn't it? You know, it certainly takes you from that future thinking and past thinking, you know, and
definitely. It's very rare that I get distracted from a good book. To be honest. You know, my attention doesn't tend to drift off anywhere else, and you know, and having that period of time before bed to do that and help unwind, and then I go to sleep just absolutely fine. And you know, and I try every so often to try and curl up on the sofa and read a little bit. It doesn't happen as much as I'd like.
How are your dreams after reading these books?
Fine. I don't remember dreams very much, to be honest. If I do have a funny dream and I'll wake up and tell you, you'll go, it's because of that book. And I was like, it's nothing to do with the book. I don't even know. What was I talking about the other day? You said I had a crazy dream, didn't I?
Oh, yeah. Something about, somebody was covered in wax and stuff around the corner.
There was a murder. And they discovered... Apparently I was talking about SNS all the way through for my sleep, but there was a murder, and it's actually just around the corner there, wasn't it? At one of the local pubs, and I was walking along in the dark, and I was either on my way to you or trying to find you, and the police had all cordoned off, and everyone's going, "You can't go out. A man's being killed by being covered in wax." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, has someone got to our wax tank?" And so I don't know, but you know, that was crazy. But I don't tend to have dreams about books that I read generally, because I've just had that nice sort of wind down time. But this book, so it's a high fantasy book. So high fantasy meaning you've got creatures like magical creatures, like in lore, like fays or fairies. And fairies aren't necessarily like your tiny little fairies like Tinkerbell, but they're like 6'3" with big pointy. I think Legolas in Lord of the Rings, you know, the one with the big bow.
Oh yeah.
He's an elf, but if you think along those sort of lines, that gives you that sort of idea. And they've got very surreal creatures in there that sort of might even be a little bit undead. They've got humans in them, but the difference is with this and high fantasy is that while you've got all of these creatures, it's also set in lands which are vastly different to the world in which we live. So the sort of times, if you think about a program like Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings or something like that, and it's very much in that medieval type world. So there's no flushing toilets, and they're swigging things, horns of ale, and drinking mead or wine or whatever. And it's that sort of, you know, not being able to have a bath with running water and that sort of thing, or live in a castle, and there's wars and there's battles, and you know, there's romance as well. There's romance as well, which is great because I'm a girl of a lady of a certain age, and she likes a little bit of romance now and again. Just saying. And but for me, I couldn't sit down and read a normal romance that's set in this sort of world that we live in. I'd find that really boring. There needs to be a good level of decapitation in there. Bit of battle glory and craziness for me to be really hooked on it. So yeah. And you're not really into that even watching it, are you, as a genre?
I try.
You try normally to keep me happy, isn't it? But I couldn't. You haven't got through The Witcher yet with me.
No. We try. In fairness, I watched a few episodes, didn't I? And I think it was a lot of, obviously, all the character building involved.
World building.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So do you want to know? Because what we've got then, linking it back to why we're having a chat, is that we've got this fantastic collection. So we have been given permission by the publishers and Sarah J. Maas to produce this collection, and this is just the first wave.
Yes.
So this is the first series of books, A Court of Thorn and Roses. And there's still being books. We've got some on the shelf. They've been there for a while, and we've been pointing at them for people, but they haven't quite picked up.
Have you talked about the author yet?
So Sarah J. Maas. What do you want to know?
Well, where's she from?
US.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So she's from the US, and her first series, I think she started writing. Well, she published her first book it was written when she was 16, and that's the Throne of Glass series, which is aimed at sort of young adults. It's more epic. There's slightly less romance in there of an adult nature, shall we say, but it's epic. I can't remember if it's 6 or 7 books. It's quite a lot of books. I'd have to check it. And it's just I can't tell you because that will be for the next release when we do that. I'm not going to give anything away.
Fair enough, yeah.
I'm not going to give anything away. And then this one was brought out, A Court of Thorn and Roses, and then followed by recently Crescent City. And because they're all part of a multiverse, and a multiverse means sort of like when you've got different worlds with some kind of link, which is starting to see some of those links happen. How to explain this, though, without giving away any of the plot?
Sure.
So what I will say is that we've created blends for 13 characters from the series. So not just this book. So some of the blends that we have are from characters who are not yet appearing. And they come a little bit later, or they might appear, but they haven't got much to do in the story. So this book here, which is the very first one, is about this person here, Farah. And I'm going to tell you a little story. I'm not going to give too much away. But basically, Farah lives with her dad and her two sisters, Elaine and Nesta.
Yeah.
In poverty, in some kind of like shack, if you like. They were. Oh, you want to have a quick? You want to have a close up? Yeah. I'll put my thumb on there. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm just gonna
put it there.
Yeah.
So basically, they used to have. Mum has died. They used to be quite wealthy. They've fallen on hard times. And imagine being living in poverty in medieval times. It's that sort of feel. They all live together. Elaine's the youngest. Nesta is very bitter. The girls don't do anything. Dad is, well, I don't, disabled, for want of a better word. He doesn't contribute anything. So it's down to Farah.
Yeah.
Did I say Elaine's the youngest or Farah's the youngest? I think Farah's the youngest. I need to double check on that. So it falls down to Farah to go out and do things like hunting. So she's quite nifty with a bow.
Yeah. And
so the basic introduction to this is that she's basically going around and hunting for food for her family. She's doing everything to sort of keep them going. And one day she's out in the woods and she's hunting deer for dinner. And as she's hunting the deer, she sees a wolf, and this wolf is going to attack the deer. So she's like, hang on a minute, I need that deer.
Yeah.
So she puts an arrow through the wolf.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give too much away with this. Long story short, she finishes off the wolf, takes the wolf pelt home because they can sell it to get some money. They can take it to the market and they can sell it and get some money. And then the next day there's a knock on her door from this beast, this creature. If you think like Beauty and the Beast, if you think about that, from this going, you have stolen, you've done this awful thing, you've killed my wolf, whatever it was, and then takes her away.
Yeah.
And he takes her away off into the Feylands, the fairy lands. And it's an adventure, let's just say. I'm not going to give any spoilers away.
I think you can stop there.
Oh, well, I will stop there. I don't think I've given any more away. That's on the back. Oh, it does say taken prisoner by a high Fey lord on the back.
Okay, that's all right,
and I can mention his name because he's on the back of the book, and that is Tamlin.
Fair enough.
Here.
Yeah.
Have a little look.
Tamlin.
There we
We're going to turn that round as well, maybe.
Oh, yeah, and turn the stars.
Yeah, brilliant.
I'm going to take photos of these a bit later.
Yeah, pop a photo.
So, yes, and across the books, she has adventures galore. There's a bit of romance in there. We've got some really fascinating characters. Now, the sense, though, that you will notice that Farah is described in the book as smelling of pear and lilac.
Sure.
And it's got a little bit of starfall in there. And on there, we've not only matched the sense to how they're described in the book, not all of the characters are explicitly described. Some of them are. They all accompany a quote as well. So it should be, fans of the series will recognise the quote. So Farah is High Lady of the Night Court. Tamlin's quote is, don't feel bad for one moment about doing what brings you joy. Recent is Night Triumphant and Stars Eternal. There he is.
Yeah.
He smells incredible, by the way.
Yeah.
But you'll notice that he is scented, his scent is described as rain, salt and citrus, as is described in the book. So and that's why it took me so long, Mr. Wilson, because what we had to do, smell that.
Oh, yeah.
That's beautiful,
I know
isn't
which
it?
one that is,
you know, you like that one.
Yeah. What oils are in that?
What we had to do in order to get a license is not just go, choose the characters. I've read the book. Can I make these things? yay, off we go. What I had to do is to research it really, really carefully, because you need to be able to list, when you get a contract with this author, every publishing house has a different set of rules or criteria for them. But particularly with this series, I had to decide in advance of all of the copyrighted or potentially copyrighted names, locations, phrases, quotes, all of those things from the book, and be able to know where they came from in which book in the series. And to do that took a lot of reading. It also took a bit of help from a very close friend of mine who's a big book fan. I'm not gonna lie, she was amazing. She's like, you've got to put that quote in, you've got to put that quote in. And making sure then we were getting it just right. Which page was it in the book? Which book did it come from? And then also forward thinking. So I knew I wanted to do these, but do we want to make candles? Do we want to do candles with some of the court names? Because there's like different areas, different courts, if you like. If you think about Cornwall, Devon, and so on. Regions. It's split into courts.
Yeah, sure.
So that's sort of... So where we've got 13 different blends here, there's probably 50 to 60 things that I had to put together just for this series, and then do that for Throne of Glass, which is epic, good, and Crescent City also, and trying to think ahead, because these aren't, apart from Throne of Glass, this series and the Crescent City series isn't finished, it isn't complete, there's going to be more. So trying to think what's going to last here, which characters might be changing, what do I want them to feel like. So that's why it took a long time.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so they don't just dish out licenses to anyone. You know what I mean? And this is really important, because say I don't know, say I went to a gift shop on holiday and I picked up something that said I don't know, Manchester United on it or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I bought it and I got it home and it was rubbish and it broke or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going to think, well, that's Manchester United that's supplied that. You know what I mean?
And, you make the association.
And you think, oh, that's not very good, isn't it? They're not a very good club, are they really? You know what I mean? And then, so it's really important for like the author to make sure that the product's going out with her name is good quality.
Absolutely.
So they have to dish out they have to give a license.
And we really wanted to make sure we did this properly. We feel really passionate about it, and we've got the contract, and that does mean we do, the author does get a fee. We do pay the author a percentage of what we make in the wax as well, and rightly so, because without her ideas and her words, we wouldn't have this. So we had to, before we even got on to researching quotes, I had to design and suggest what I would like to do first. So, and go and say, first of all, I went, oh, hello. Didn't say it like that. Oh, hello. Do you mind if I make wax? Here's my website. Would you mind if, because I love your books? And then that's how the conversation started. And then from there, it was like, yes, could you show us a photo though? Could you show us a photo of what you're thinking of? And then that took a couple of weeks design to get it right. Again, my procrastination and perfectionism.
Well, that's probably what what's allowed us to be able to make these. Because of that. Meticulous. Tenaciousness.
I love the tenacity. I love designing, actually.
Well, I've got a question. Okay.
Yeah.
Say I love reading these books.
Yeah.
Okay. But I've never used wax melts before, and I come across this video, and I think, oh wow, these seem really cool. Like I can light one, I can melt one of these whilst I'm reading the book. With a cuppa or whatever. You know what I mean? I could really set the scene. Yeah. So I don't know anything about wax melts, but I know everything about these books, and I know everything about these characters. So I've just come across this video now. How do these work? Like so obviously. They come in star form, and just break them off and put them in the water.
Yeah, I think so. In fact, we've got some other open ones there, but I don't want to open these because they're babies and they're ready to go. So yeah, it's literally a matter of opening up. You need your warmer first of all. So you can either have a tea light one, which you like your tea light in under, or you can have, I haven't got one in here, an electric one as well. You can use any electric warmer, including ones by big brand name warmers as well.
But some of the warmers we've got on our website, they're real mystical looking. You know what I mean? They'd be perfect.
You like the dragon one?
Setting the scene, the dragon one. With a tea light or a low light electric one.
Yeah,
that's another option.
That's also an option, and it's just a matter of getting your warmer on, pushing up a start, because this breaks really easy. It's no effort, and popping it in. Our wax is so strong. You do not need more than a star in there. 100% no more than a star, and you're going to get.
You're going to fill the room with the scent.
That's better 20 hours, I should imagine. At least 16 hours, I would say, out of each little nugget.
Sure.
So, and then you seal it back up.
Yeah. Are we going to say how much they are as well at this point?
These ones are going to be $7.25 or 3 for $20.
Yeah. But like you say, you get loads of burns off these.
And I have a suspicion, though, there's going to be some fans here of this gorgeous book who probably won't get around to melting them, because if you are a book fan, you tend to like to have a nice bookshelf decorated.
It's doing the job, that, isn't it? I love how the star is just lit up in the middle there. It's like you've put some electrics in it.
Well, I can't tell. Well, a little bit of wizardry on my part, but what I can't tell you is the significance of the stars and the significance of the mountain. Again, if you know the books, you're going to understand it.
Well, hang on, because our logo is 3 stars.
I know, it's like it's meant to be. And also, have you noticed a star clam? It's like it was just meant to be.
Yeah, spooky that,
it is.
The universe is speaking there, definitely.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Or the multiverse. Is that what you said?
Yeah, maybe the mother.
Yeah.
Just say that the mother.
Yeah.
Or the fates, or whatever it would be in whichever books it is.
Yeah.
So look, this is where a lot of thought has gone into the design of these, and they couldn't have been really designed by someone who hasn't read the books.
Sure.
You know?
So you need to have some passion towards this for it to work.
Yeah, definitely. This is, and I keep looking at them all sort of laid out, going, "Oh, they're so pretty." They're so pretty.
Yeah. I can imagine there must be some real big fans of these watching this and thinking, God, he's still so stupid. He hasn't got a clue.
Tell him to read the book.
He just needs to be away from this video.
Shall I get the audio file for you, and you can listen to it being read to you?
Well, like when I'm in the bath.
Like when you're in the bath, because you like a good podcast in the bath, don't you?
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll just like play with your phone and stick a chapter or so of that on. Every so often.
Yeah.
You'd be asleep.
Yeah.
You'll fall asleep. You're like, I don't know what they're talking about. That's good. It is good. So these are being launched on Saturday, finally. And we're just really excited, aren't we? I think so.
Yeah.
And then hopefully it's the start of more to come.
Yeah.
And
you know, if you have come across this video, and you're big fans of the book, we've got a great Facebook community, Facebook group. And it's interesting because our customers, they tend to support whatever we do, and even if they're not fans of the book yet, they're ordering the book.
They've started ordering the book.
And it's arriving, and it's been arriving, and they're like, I need to get into these books, you know.
So my mum, my mum has started reading. Oh, I put my hand on my microphone. My mum has started reading them, bless her.
So,
and I mean, she loves the same genre as me, but it's great because having been a teacher in a previous lifetime, I just cannot shout enough about the power of reading for pleasure. You know, and it's so hard. But if this helps people enjoy literature, then my job is done.
That's a massive show. That's my
job done.
And you know, anyone local, like we've got a shop, and we're going to have like a book area, aren't we?
You're going to allow me to steal one of the bookcases, dress it up. Might be a few days yet, but they're coming.
So
we're coming. So Saturday evening, and I've got big plans to increase and move out a little bit. So very exciting time, isn't it?
So I suppose any questions you have, you can put them in the comments, and we'll get back to you. And if you are watching this, subscribe as well, follow us, and maybe give it a share. That'd be really helpful.
Yeah, it really does help to be seen.
Yeah.
And again, keep an eye out on Instagram. If you're following us on Instagram, lots of reels and stories going on. Same with Facebook. Keep up to date. And as Mr. Wilson says, that our fabulous Facebook community, because I do suspect in 9 months' time, when Crescent City 3 comes out, there might be a group read going on. Wow. We're all very excited.
Yeah. Well, what's involved with the group read?
The group read is basically when you've all got the same book and you're reading it roughly at the same time, so you can talk to somebody about it, which is very exciting. We'll have our own
thread to add stuff to it.
Well, it might have to be a chat, keep it private, and no spoilers allowed.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah.
Anyway, on that note,
thanks for watching. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.